This is video number 3 in the Homestyler instructional series that I have for you. So in part 3, it is just designing. So this is where you're going to spend most of your time. So I'm just going to show you where the furniture is, accessories, and then also want to show you how to move items. There's a couple different ways you can do that. So when you are in your space, it is entirely up to you if you want to be in 2D or 3D when you add furniture and accessories. I like to add most bigger items in 2D because you can, spin them around, but it's whatever works for you. So all the furniture is going to be in catalog, and it is grouped by space, which you have probably already figured out. So maybe I want to start with the living room, and I want to look at sofas. It's going to be the biggest item. So you might want to visually kind of think about a furniture layout around how you want to do that in the space. So maybe I want a chase. So I'm going to click and drag and release. So now what you can see, hopefully you are observing, this is entirely too big. So some of the items are going to not be to scale with the space. This is just too big. So you could size it down or delete it and choose something else. So maybe I want a sofa, and then I'll grab a couple of chairs to put with my sofa. So maybe I want this one. I'm going to click and drag that in. And now this arrow allows you to spin it. So maybe I want it to face the fireplace, and then I can add some chairs on either side. So if I go, maybe I want lounge chairs. You can see there's lots of options. So 27 pages worth. So maybe I want this one, and I'm going to put it right here and spin it around. And maybe I want another one of those on the other side. So I'm going to click the item and duplicate and put it there. And then spin that around. Okay, so you get the idea. That is adding furniture. When you go to catalog, you can see all of the different options. So it's nice that it's grouped by space. So a side table would be like a little table next to your sofa. So maybe I want like this little table here for these people to use. So you can see that. Some of the accessories are located within each space. So you can see there's some art and posters, there's rugs, which I would definitely add, hutches and buffets. So this is actually more of a dining room item. Wanted to point that out to you though, because maybe it would be something you want to put in your dining space, either along this wall or this wall here for some storage. So once again, that was hutches and buffets. Even though it's in living room, I think it's a really good option for the dining space. So while I'm at it, maybe I'll just quickly grab one of these to put in the dining space. So maybe I want that right here. So that looks a little bit small. So you would want to maybe play around with that, but you get the idea. So maybe I want this shelf here. That looks really small. So some things are not going to be to scale, and that's as to be expected. So you can swap them out, adjust sizes if you want to, and go from there. When you scroll down and you look for more accessories, you can see like in the dining room, there are accessories there. You can also go down to art and decor, and that's going to be where you find a lot of stuff. So photographs, paintings, mirrors, clocks. So think about what are on the walls. I think accessories are hard for a lot of students. Think about what's on your walls at home and what are on your shelves at home. Look at house for inspiration. If you click on other, when I clicked on that other accessories, you can see there's 129 pages of other accessories. So when you go to put things on shelves or on the fireplace, you can see, so maybe I want to put this on the fireplace, spin it around, and then you can move it back. You can see kind of what's happening there. Maybe I want something on the wall. Let me find something to show you. So maybe I want a mirror with a little console table right by this main entrance here. So when you go to add something to the wall, just like everything else, it's just a click and drag, and then you can place it in there. Obviously I'm in 3D. What I wanted to show you though is these arrows here. So that's the last item, is how to move items, the colored arrows in 3D. So if you want something to be moved up, you can click and drag and it moves up with the blue. Green goes side to side. Red comes out. Again, some of it is just you can drag and move it around, but for example, like maybe you put a pillow on, add a pillow to this couch and it's floating down here, which happens a lot. You can use those arrows to raise it up. So those arrows will come in handy when you go to start adding a lot of accessories. So same thing with this item here that I added to the fireplace, which you can see when I stand next to it is a little too big. Maybe I can move that back. Or I can move it up if it was going on a shelf. I'm probably going to delete this because it's hanging over the fireplace and you obviously wouldn't want something hanging over your fireplace. So maybe I want a console table, which would just be like a skinny little table to drop keys and whatever else. I can click on that. And this is a kind of a tight space here. So, and you don't have to add this here either. I just wanted to show you an example of what could go here. Maybe I want this, and we'll put that in. So here's an example of, it is obviously facing the wrong direction. So these arrows are helpful for that. I also like to go into 2D and spin things around. So if I click on it and then spin it, and then put it against the wall, that seems to be a little bit easier. So whatever works for you, you could adjust the dimensions. Maybe you want it a little bit skinnier, maybe not as deep. Okay, so some of that stuff can be changed here. So I like that. That looks good. It's not going to be in the way of my traffic flow. So that is it for this video. It's going to be most of your time spent designing, putting the furniture and accessories. So look at the assignment requirements and make sure you include things. You want to make sure that you are kind of going back to the principles and elements of design, thinking about scale, thinking about balance, positive and negative space, all of that very important when it comes to actually designing.